Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul, Monday edition. It is a wonderful to be here today with you to say some wonderful things about ourselves. I see that the chat room is filling up, so good morning to everybody. Today we are we're going to be working with my I Am deck right over here. My I Am deck is full of amazing affirmations that we can say about ourselves in the form of I Am statements. So I was looking at the stream metrics for last week, and once again, we reached just about 1,000 people. And how cool that is. I want to say thank you so much to the folks who share this. We reached about 1,000 people, but only about 300 of them were my direct friends. We actually reached about 700 folks who are not friends of mine, courtesy of your sharing. So thank you so much for sharing this stream. I appreciate that you're doing it. So yeah, we're going to be working with the I Am deck today, and we're going to be working with the theme of the opposites. This is season 2 of the Wake Up Call, and we are working with the theme of opposites. So we're going to talk about the affirmation. We're going to say the affirmation out loud. We're going to write the affirmation down in the chat, and then we are going to affirm it to each other so that we can more readily see it in ourselves. So without further ado, let's just pull one off the top of the deck, and let's see what today brings. So today, I am committed. I am committed. I understand the value of hard work and pursue my goals relentlessly. I am committed. So I understand the value of hard work and pursue my goals relentlessly. Are you committed? You are committed. You understand the value of hard work and pursue your goals relentlessly. Of course, you're committed. Many of you are committed to being here every day. I certainly see that there's some folks who come here literally every single time that I broadcast. I want to say thank you guys so much for being committed to being on this broadcast, for committing to yourself, for committing to say nice things about yourselves, just as I commit to coming here every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. to say nice things about you and to really affirm the truth about you, that you are committed. So I've written that down in the comments. I am committed. And I'd love for you to write that down in the comments as well. You know, it's one thing to say things out loud. It's one thing to hear me say it and to agree with it. It's another thing to say it out loud so that you can hear it. We tend to believe the things that we say, and that's why it's so important for us to say good things about ourselves, things that are true, things that really help us to live in accordance with our highest values. It's another thing entirely to write it down, to take that ephemeral thought and run it through your fingers. Your brain has to command your muscles to do things, to hit the keys on the keyboard and actually write it down. In fact, a lot of times I will write it down in cursive with a pen and paper because that's even more engaging for my neurons. And then it's another thing entirely to affirm it in other people, because when we affirm it in other people, it becomes so much easier to see it in ourselves. And so that's why we do this. That's why we say it, we listen to it, we hear it, we say it ourselves, we write it down, and then we affirm it to other people. It's a very, very powerful 5 steps to really internalizing these incredible I am statements. So thank you guys so much for being committed to doing it. And the opposite of committed would be non-committal, non-committed, uncommitted. And every time that I'm not committed to something, there's always a reason for it. And perhaps it's the same with you. When we just can't, when things just aren't working, when we know what the next step is, but we're not doing it, there's always a reason behind that, and we need to examine that reason. And oftentimes it's because we're overcommitted. It's because we've committed to too many things. It's so easy to say yes. It's so difficult to say no. It's particularly difficult to say no after we've said yes. So our plates just fill up with life. And as they fill up with life, the things that are really valuable to us, our longer term goals and ambitions, really fall by the wayside because the shorter term ones are much easier to get a quick win on. And so it's so difficult to remain committed to our longer term goals, aspirations, dreams in the face of the shorter ones. And oftentimes the shorter term ones will please a person in the present, but it won't please us in the long term. And so we need to think about when we're afraid to commit to something, why is that? Is it because we're denying ourselves, or is it because our schedule is just so busy with people pleasing for others? And so that's non-committal. And this whole thing really brings to mind for me a concept that I've been exploring recently of finite and infinite games, based on a book of the same title, Finite and Infinite Games. And the author posits that there are two different types of games. Now, we're always playing games in life. Life itself is a game. I believe life is art, and life is certainly a game. Just as we play pretend when we're children, we play pretend when we're adults too. And just that the pretend that we're playing when we're adults has other consequences that could be much larger than the ones that we experience when we're kids. But a finite game is a game where there's a winner and a loser. So politics is a finite game. The midterm elections, which are coming up, I've already voted in them, voted by mail early, and I encourage you to vote as well. But the midterm elections that are coming up are a finite game. There's going to be winners and losers. There's going to be people who get the office and people who don't. Same thing as like a job interview. A job interview is a finite game. There's a certain number of positions and a certain number of applicants, and not every applicant will get a position. It's a finite game, winners and losers. An infinite game is a game that is played for the benefit, for the mutual benefit of all parties involved. So while politics is a finite game, an infinite game would be to continue to express the Enlightenment ideals that created the United States. How do we do that in the modern world? As the world changes, how do we continue to express the ideals of individualism and of liberty that the Enlightenment founders of this country thought that were really important? It's been said that America is a great experiment, and it certainly has been. America is the only country that was founded on these Enlightenment ideals. Every other country prior to ours was founded on the ideal of enlightened despotism or divine right. There's a divine right of a king or a queen to rule. They rule because God says so. And in the United States, we have this idea that everybody is created equal. And that idea is, in my opinion, better than the idea that one person has the right to rule because God says so. And so therefore, how do we continue to express that idea? That idea is the infinite game. The midterm elections, that's a finite game. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. But the infinite game is, how do we continue to express these ideals? Going to the club and trying to get laid is a finite game. Some people are going to go to the club and they're going to find a partner and they're going to have a great time that night. And some people are not. Some people are going to be wandering around the parking lot drunk, trying to sober up and go home and sleep alone. That's a finite game. There are winners, there are losers. There are people who get the title, there are people who don't. But engaging in a relationship, in a long-term relationship, whatever that looks like, is an infinite game. It is engaged in for the purposes of continuing the game and for the benefit of everybody involved. And anybody who's ever been in a successful long-term relationship will tell you there are incredible benefits to being in it. And without commitment, it is impossible to play these infinite games. So I am committed today, and you are committed too. And so let's be committed to ourselves. Let's be committed to the people around us. Let's be committed to our own highest ideals of where our lives are going and the reasons that we have for getting up in the morning. Guys, if you need a particular affirmation, I have all these linked on my YouTube channel, which is linked here in the video description. I want to say thank you so much for you guys. Without you, I could not be committed to doing this as well as I am. So thank you so much to those people who like it and share it and really expose their friends to this positive morning message. Aloha from paradise.